Hi everyone, my name is Max. I am one of the founders of an organization that's called Winding Tree, and slowly rebranding to Wind. This is a new brand, this is a new appearance. And there is no way for me, in one sentence, I guess, to easily explain what we're trying to do. And I always venture, when I try, to the depth of philosophical ideas and all sorts of crazy things. But today, I'm just going to tell you a few stories. And of course, it's all about sustainability. Yeah, you could, I guess, go on their website. Right now, it's in a very early stage. When is there a new product? And I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later. But let me start again with my story. And that story starts in this beautiful place in Georgia, country, Georgia, not the state. I was there just in February of this year, and it's a beautiful, absolutely astonishing place. I mean, I love Iceland, but I love many other places as well, and so that place is one of them. I was there in winter, skiing and snowboarding with friends, and just learning about the local community. And that local community that we live here, it's a very, very old village. It's been there for hundreds of years. And that whole community of just a few thousand people relies on tourism as probably for 90% of their income, right? In summer, you can go and hike in mountains. In winter, you can ski and snowboard and do all sorts of other things. And I had a lot of fun there. The only problem is, to get to this place from the closest airport takes about 6 hours on a road that looks sometimes like this. And I was driving there with a friend, and at some point we got stuck on the mountain. The driver was completely unprepared for the road conditions in winter. At some point it was kind of scary, but we survived. Anyway, so that's kind of the state of infrastructure there. Sometimes at some point they have better parts of the road, of course. And another problem that I noticed personally, being sort of mindful about the ecology, about nature, is that there's not even an attempt to recycle the trash, right? To separate the trash. Everything goes into the same bin. I sort of cringe when I start thinking about where all of that goes after, probably some sort of landfill next to the mountains where we're skiing. So, I don't know. And that's, just another problem that I sort of identified there. And so I was there for a few weeks, and that's actually where our latest project started. And my friend was staying there as well. And we became friends with some of the local people, with hotel owners, with restaurant owners. Again, it's a very, very small community. People are very nice, food is great, so I highly recommend it. But anyway, so my friend showed me this screenshot, which is, I don't know if there is like a red thingy there. If you see a price and commission there, that's that's exactly 18% of the total price that my friend paid for staying at that hotel. And that's quite a bit, and that's concerning. So now I'm coming here, and I've been to Iceland before, and I just feel amazing here. And again, I feel concerned about, I come here, I fly, I stay at the hotel, I eat the delicious food here, and I said, why don't I go to visiticeland.com website and try to offset my carbon footprint? And so that's exactly what I did. Very simple process. You select what kind of things what kind of mode of transportation you use, whether you're going to use a car, what kind of meat, what kind of diet you have. Of course, it's all very important. So at the end, I arrived at this screen, which told me that my carbon footprint for this trip, for me being here right now, is about 500, well, about 600 kilograms of CO2, which, well, I don't know, is it a lot or not? And I really didn't know, but the website very conveniently told me that offsetting that carbon footprint would cost me 15 euro. That's not a lot. Very easy. So, anyway, I didn't pay just yet, I'm guilty, but I will. But, again, it got me thinking. So if, and I did book a hotel through Booking.com, and if the commission on my hotel, which I paid for a week, it's a little expensive here, but about $1,000, give or take, right? And so the 18% commission, of course, is $180, which will offset, could have offset my carbon footprint of being here 10 times over, and there will be a little bit left. And so the idea that I want us to ponder about today is whether that kind of fee is justified, and whether when we talk about sustainability, is it just about using electric cars or doing all sorts of renewables and stuff like that. So maybe there is an easier path to sustainability if we start taking into account the amount of money that's being extracted from communities like Iceland, like that community in Georgia, that's called Mestia. Maybe by reducing those fees, just by a little bit maybe even, right? We could fund in Georgia for recycling. Maybe we could fix the roads. Maybe we could invest that money, or they could invest that money. If that money would stay within that community, maybe they could invest it into education, into better facilities for tourists, maybe into marketing. A lot of stuff could be done with that very hefty 18, and again, that's the average, and maybe, again, you travel people, you know how much you're paying in terms of commission fees to the intermediaries today. And so I've been working on this problem, or on this idea about removing intermediaries. I'm just gonna start shooting like this at some point. I've been working on this problem, or on this idea of intermediaries that cause all sorts of problems within the travel industry, within actually many other industries as well. I started Winding Tree about 6 years ago at this point. At the end of 2016, I published this article on LinkedIn where I described that it's not just about commission fees, right? It's all about, I don't know if we have hotelier people here, it's, using Booking.com means that you are no longer the brand that the customer interacts with. There are problems with data flaws. At the end of the day, I think the major problem that we have here, if we have an intermediary in the middle, is that they restrict innovation. If we don't have open platforms that we could easily play with, if we could easily experiment with and combine them in a variety of different ways, which maybe 95% of those ways will fail, but experimentation and the ability to experiment is equal to innovation. That's how that's just basic sort of logic, right? So I've been working on this project for 6 years, and I started with this simple idea of travel industry suffering from intermediaries. And we have this technology that is designed for decentralization or de-intermediation. And of course, that technology is blockchain. And again, if you don't know a lot about blockchain, that's totally fine. You don't have to understand how exactly it works, which I could go on and on for hours. And by the way, maybe you should talk to me and talk about the workshop tomorrow that we're going to have. The use case is very simple. Blockchains allow us to write computer programs that are completely autonomous, that don't require intermediation, right? That don't require a person in the middle who controls that computer program. And that's how most industries work today, digital industries right now, right? So in terms of banking, in terms of travel industry, of course, there's always a company in the middle that controls the server where the program is run. The program, of course, being a hotel, an OTA website or something like that, right? So actually, when I was in Georgia, I took a vacation. And usually, my daily life is, I say, I'm a chief emailing officer, right? Do emails all day, and on my vacation, I was able to write this new product that we have, at least a part of it. And we said, basically what it is, it's a booking software that lives completely on blockchain. As a hotel, you say to that computer program, you say, I have 10 rooms available, here's the price. And as a user, you come sort of from the other side of that program. And the beauty of it is that it's a smart contract that lives on the blockchain, and I cannot change it. Once I deployed it, once I put it out there, I cannot change it anymore. It's completely autonomous. So I remove myself as an intermediary. Although I wrote that program, but when I put it on the blockchain, I cannot do anything with it anymore. It's completely autonomous. And so we ran a pilot in Amsterdam around Ethereum Devconnect event. Why did we do that? Of course, because you have to book with crypto. When you do that, when you interact with a smart contract, and of course people at that conference, the users, they knew how to do that. So we didn't have to educate them how to do that, but we did have to educate the hotel. And our partner at the conference or around that event was DoubleTree by Hilton, very close to, I don't know if you've been to Amsterdam, very close to the central station, very nice hotel, 4 stars, and we were able to save about 20,000 euro to attendees of that event that was held just about a month ago in Amsterdam. It was a lot of fun, it was a lot of success, and what is the important innovation here? Like why? So the removal of the intermediation with the help of smart contracts is just one part of this, of sort of the optimization of the innovation that we have here. And another very important part here is that blockchains and smart contracts allow us to now write computer programs that have money built into those computer programs, you know, because before we always had to, and right now, again, most of you, probably all of you, if you run tourism kind of company, or any company at this point, right? You always have to deal with 2 separate systems all the time. The money system, the payment system, and then the actual issuing of a ticket or hotel booking or something like that, right? Those are 2 completely separate systems. And there is always a very confused person in the middle who is trying to make sense out of those systems. Did you pay? Do I have to issue the ticket for it? Let me go and check over here. All right, there's a payment. But oh well, we forgot to issue the ticket to you. Oh, okay, now you have to talk to me. And that's why it's so hard right now. And I mean, you all know the pain of changing the airline ticket, or changing your hotel booking or something like that. Or, I don't know, recently I was booking a flight on an airline website. I'm a customer, I'm logged in, and I book it, and next day I check my email, nothing. I check the airline website where I'm logged in, nothing. I have to talk to their customer service. I start the chat, I'm number 700 in the line to talk to them. And at the end of the day, again, what does that person in the middle is doing is they're checking, okay, did you pay? Yes, okay, well, we forgot to issue the ticket for it. Okay, sorry about this, here you go. Smart contracts remove that complexity completely. They remove that confused person from the middle. Smart contracts, and again, you may know nothing about blockchains, but take this one thought away. Smart contracts are computer programs where those two systems are combined. And that's what we created for the Amsterdam event. So that is, if I pay to that smart contract, I will receive it. It cannot be the case that I paid and I didn't receive anything, or I received a ticket and I didn't pay. So it's all combined. And again, canceling and changing things becomes a lot easier. But the one very, very important problem that we didn't quite solve yet is the user has to pay in crypto, and in our case, it was this crypto that's called DAI or XDAI. But the hotels, they didn't agree. They just cannot deal with this. W3 Tokens told us it's the corporate will never allow us to accept this kind of money. So we have to help them a little bit to deal with that kind of situation. But we already have the technology to solve this problem. And in the next iteration, very soon, probably in just a few months, we will be integrating this new amazing technology that's called Monerium. Coming up. There we go. Thank you so much. This is not the end of the presentation. Don't clap just yet.
Well, thank you, Max. So I am Gisli, the CTO of Monerium. You can find me online using this handle up there. It's a great privilege and honor for me to stand here on stage with Max and in front of all of you to give you some insights into what's happening in the crypto space. So I think this will come as a surprise to many. This is somewhat hidden, I think, almost a secret. But fortunately, it's not a well-kept secret, so I'm going to share it with you. So first, some history. The internet was the fastest adopted technology in all recorded history. At the years when it grew the fastest, it grew at 63% annually. And we humans have a little bit a hard time understanding such an explosive growth. So I'm going to share one slide here. So this is the number 100, growing at 63% annually over a 20-year period. So you can see that it's a wildly explosive growth here. It's exponential, really. But for the first 12 years, it doesn't seem like it's doing a lot. So it's growing from 100 to close to 2 million over that period. So I want to show you the exact same graph on a log scale. And then we can more easily see what's happening there in the beginning. Same graph, but we can now spot the trend of what's happening. It's growing very fast. And you can see, in the early days, that it's growing fast. So crypto, and with crypto I mean everything you may have heard, blockchain, you may have heard cryptocurrency, you may have heard Web3, you may have heard NFT. All of this is growing twice as fast. So it's growing at the rate of 113% annually. To compare this is a slightly complicated slide. I'm not going to dive very deep into it, but the white line is the 14-year range from 92 to 2006, showing you the growth of the internet on a log scale. So we're going from 10 million to 100 million to 1 billion users. You see, over that time, we reached 1 billion users in 2006, roughly. Now, crypto is growing really fast, and we will reach the first billion users by the end of 2024. So this is happening really fast. And payments, they're already a huge thing. So these are the numbers for 2021, so last year. And it may surprise you that Bitcoin alone exceeded PayPal in terms of payments last year. But more than that, if you take the combined value that was settled on a blockchain, it exceeded the Visa network. So it was roughly $11 trillion that year. And while it's doing more, users are paying less in fees. So of course, there are two sides of this. So if we take the Visa network had $24 billion in fees. So this is the revenue of the middleman, the intermediary. So it's fantastic for Visa, right? But the other side is that this is what the users paid for the access to this payment network. And you can see that Ethereum, one of the blockchains, was actually less than half of the fees paid, while doing more. And we should even take the next contender, Stripe, and stack it on top of Visa, because if you're doing online commerce, you'd need to go through someone like Stripe to access the Visa network. So now you have two intermediaries that you need to pay. And why is this? What's the reason? So, like Max was saying, the e-commerce relies on credit cards, which live in a completely separate network. So this means a constant reconciliation between the two, and usually end users don't feel that pain, but you as operators most certainly have. But sometimes users even find that problem and experience it, when something goes wrong, when you have to cancel a flight or when a flight is cancelled. So with crypto, we now have internet native payments, which means that they live in the same world, where money and data are of the same format. And here we have to kind of differentiate as well between payments and settlements. And when you're trying to pay for something, it's a one-way thing. But when you're settling something, you're settling your flight or your hotel book or something like that, there are a lot of intermediaries today that need to kind of facilitate this. And they all take their fees to take on this risk. This risk may be in the form of insurance. There's something that could go wrong here, so they have to provide capital. There are so many things and so many intermediaries that are in the sort of supply chain of settlements. With this new technology, this complex process removes almost all the intermediaries and relies on the fact that it's internet native. So you have the settlement process in a smart contract, like Max was explaining a little bit earlier. So what is Monerium and how do we fit into this picture? We are a regulated, digitally native bank. We are here to connect you and your company to the innovation that's happening with Max. And so we allow everyone to use the regular currencies, the euros and the pounds, in this context. And we bridge between the legacy banking system and this new and exciting world of crypto. And I was actually going to try to demo something here for you, so you can kind of get a feel for what this, how this bridging mechanism works. So we had the large product update yesterday. So may the demo gods be with me. And let's see if this worked. Okay, so I was initially going to try to connect my phone as well, but seeing how long this takes, I'm not going to do it. But the main thing here to see on the screen is this should feel like your regular bank. And here you have the euros there, you have the transaction history, and you have the ability to add some money to this account. Now, these accounts live on the blockchain in the same world that Max is working in. And here you can see our innovation, where we can assign a bank account number to your blockchain address. And you can see this is a wallet here, and the website agrees on the value. So there are 14 euros in this wallet and some cryptocurrency. And this is the same number as here. So if I now go to my Revolut account, let me just do that quickly. And I'm going to send something like 3 euros. Send it away. I was going to join here with the phone, but you just have to believe me, and I sent the euros away. And if everything works out, in a few seconds we should see this transaction appearing in the transaction list. And there we go. So these are real euros being sent right now from a Revolut account in seconds. So usually when you think about euro payments, they're done in what, 1 or 2 days? We can move euros across the whole of Europe onto a blockchain, and everything happens like lightning fast. Yes, and now I'm going to look for these euros on chain to see how much we paid for this. So this is what is called the Blockchain Explorer. There's now still picking up this transaction that actually happened, real euros, and we can see here that it went to my wallet, 3 euros, and the fee is 0. Well, we don't have enough decimals to show it's less than 1 cent that this cost. So, and if I look into my wallet, we should now see the 3 euros being added to this account. So this is going like end to end into the system, and now available to participate in the innovation that's happening on chain. So there's a huge market there already out there, which you can tap into. It's a crypto market, and Max and his team is actually working on a solution of connecting companies, providers to this market. And we are here to solve the last mile problem of allowing you to have regular currency, euros and dollars and kronas and whatnot, in this world. So I'm not going to have it longer. Thank you so much. And Max, I think you will be concluding this talk, right?
Thank you. I don't know why it didn't clap before, because this was absolutely fantastic. I saw it for the first time yesterday, and it's just mind blowing. You know, one of the biggest problems right now with crypto is what we call off ramp and on ramp and off ramp. And with this, the problem is, again, we cannot use smart contracts and blockchains, and we cannot use their full sort of power and functionality if you're not operating cryptocurrencies on blockchain, right? And with this, with the advent of Euro, Monerium, and with like such an ease, and again, you were saying Revolut, it's just a regular bank account that you send in Euro to blockchain directly, and it's there in seconds. To me, it's mind blowing. So another round of applause, I think. Who has crypto here in this audience? Quite a few people. I'm surprised. Do you, any of you, control your private keys, or is it on Coinbase or something like that? Amazing. Much less people actually. Do you own any NFTs? Anyone? Nice. Okay, kudos, good. But we're gonna give you today your first NFT. You don't have to have a blockchain account or anything like that. So actually you can scan this QR code, you can just provide your email. And for you, that's gonna be a little nudge to simply create your first blockchain wallet. So that's the one that Gisli was showing, that's where actually the euro came into, right? And it's such an important first step for anyone who wants to sort of participate in this future. And this is, again, crypto is already a huge industry, as Gisli was saying. You know, trillions and trillions of dollars are being transferred and staked, and crazy projects are created, and a lot of people are being scammed, of course, about this. But just creating your wallet, you don't have to spend money at all to create your wallet. But just that simple step of creating your first wallet, the wallet that you fully control. And again, that's the whole premise of blockchains, that you remove intermediaries, like banks, from the equation, like OTAs and other kinds of intermediaries, right? With this technology, you truly control something that is your own. No one, if they don't know your secret words, they cannot take your money from you, they cannot take your data from you, all that stuff. And again, this is just a little nudge for you to try and create your wallet. And you scan this, and you're gonna, in your wallet, you're gonna receive your first ever NFT as a token of appreciation for attending our session today. But we are realizing, really, and you know, we're doing those pilots around crypto conferences all around Europe right now. We're going to be helping attendees of crypto conferences in Paris, in Barcelona, in Bogota, a few other crypto conferences. We're going to help them to book their hotels using crypto on the blockchain without paying an intermediary fee, and therefore leaving that transaction fee within the community, and thereby helping that community to be more sustainable, to invest that money into their infrastructure, community, educate, whatever they want, right? But we're realizing that people that we pitch it to, hotels, a lot of the time they're quite conservative. People don't understand this technology. This is a little bit too early. And so we're creating an online course where we're going to be teaching the fundamentals of blockchains and Web3 and NFTs and DeFi and key management and all of that stuff. And so if you scan that QR code, you will get a sign-up form. And if you're interested in learning more about this tech, we're going to start in the middle of June. And yeah, just a simple sign-up form for that course. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think you guys are going to help us with that.